Have you ever wondered how some people stay calm when everything around them falls apart? What if pain, failure, or fear couldn't shake you, no matter how fierce the storm? And what if the secret to becoming unbreakable wasn't outside of you, but already within? Let's begin. Life doesn't come with a warning. One moment, everything feels fine, and the next, a wave of challenge crashes over you. It might test your patience, shake your plans, or push you beyond what you thought were your limits. But imagine this, living in such a way that no setback could truly break you. Not pain, not loss, not fear. Imagine being able to stand tall in the center of the chaos, steady, calm, unshaken. That strength, real, lasting strength, comes from training the mind and the spirit. And in Buddhism, there are 6 daily habits that can transform you into that steady force. These habits aren't just survival tools. They're keys to thriving, even in adversity. They guide you to become like the eye of a storm, where peace, power, and clarity remain untouched by the winds around you. So, are you ready to explore these 6 transformative habits? Let's begin with the first. Learn to sit with pain. Pain is not the enemy. It's not a curse. It's a natural part of being human, unavoidable, unpredictable, and often uncomfortable. But it's not the pain itself that breaks us. It's how we respond to it. Most people try to run from it, distract themselves, numb it, deny it, or wish it away. But in the teachings of the Buddha, pain is not something to escape. It's something to understand. Instead of fighting your pain or pushing it down, what if you simply allowed yourself to sit with it? No distractions, no running, just stillness. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and notice where it lives in your body. Is it a tightness in your chest, a heaviness in your gut? Observe it, stay with it, let it speak. Pain is not a punishment, it's a messenger. It carries a lesson, a truth, a reflection about what you feel and why. When you learn to face it fully without trying to change or resist it, you'll realize something powerful. Pain isn't as terrifying as it seemed. It won't destroy you. In fact, when you stop running, it loses its control over you. This is the first step toward resilience, not by avoiding suffering, but by embracing the strength to face it. It's not about pretending it doesn't hurt. It's about learning to be with it, learn from it, and allow it to shape you, not break you. And that brings us to the second habit. Stop reacting. Start responding. But before we go there, take a moment to reflect. What would your life look like if pain no longer had power over you? So now that you've learned how to sit with pain and face it without fear, the next powerful shift lies in how you respond to the world, especially in moments of tension. In reality, we are far more in control than we often realize. One of the most essential teachings in Buddhism is the transformative power of mindfulness. It's the ability to notice what's happening inside you, to pause before reacting, and to create a small sacred space between stimulus and response. That small pause, it's where your power lives. Imagine someone says something that stings, or you're cut off in traffic. Your automatic impulse might be to snap back or let frustration take over. But mindfulness gently steps in and says, wait, breathe, choose. Instead of reacting without thinking, you respond with awareness. And that's the key difference. Reaction is automatic. Response is intentional. When you react impulsively, you're letting your environment and emotions control your actions. It's as if you're a leaf being blown about by every gust of wind. But when you respond with thoughtfulness and composure, you become the still tree, rooted, calm, unmoved by the storm. This isn't just a philosophical idea. It's a trainable skill. And like any skill, it takes consistent practice. So, the next time you're triggered by someone's words, a stressful situation, or an unexpected challenge, pause. Don't rush into reaction. Instead, take a deep breath, step back, and ask yourself, what is the wisest, most grounded response I can offer right now? It doesn't mean ignoring or burying your emotions. On the contrary, it means acknowledging them fully, understanding what they're telling you, and then deciding how to express them in a way that honors your higher self. Over time, this habit rewires how you experience the world. You'll stop being a slave to every emotional wave. Instead, you'll surf the waves with balance and grace. This is the true heart of mindfulness, not to shut down feelings, but to respond to life with clarity, intention, and compassion. And once you begin practicing mindfulness in your emotional responses, it naturally flows into the way you begin each day. Because how you start your morning can shape your entire day. And that's exactly what we'll explore next. Why disciplining your mind every morning is the third habit that unlocks unshakable strength. After learning to respond instead of react and grounding your mornings with intention, your inner foundation begins to strengthen. The next step is learning to let go of what you were never meant to carry. When you create a morning ritual rooted in reflection, mindfulness, or even a few quiet moments of silence, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to align with your deeper intentions. You're no longer just drifting into your day, you're stepping into it with awareness and direction. Whether you sit in meditation, write in a journal, stretch your body, or simply breathe with presence, these small acts train your mind to begin the day not in chaos, but in clarity. Over time, this discipline becomes a sacred space, your inner compass that keeps you steady, even when the outer world feels unpredictable. And here's the truth. The most centered, successful, and grounded people don't stumble into peace by accident. They practice it. A disciplined morning isn't just a routine. It's a declaration that your mind matters, that your inner world deserves attention before the noise of the outer world takes over. When you give your mind the stillness it needs each morning, you're building resilience before the challenges even arrive. Now, let's move to the fourth habit. Let go of what you can't control. This may be one of the most difficult, but also most liberating truths you'll ever learn. Much of our suffering comes not from what actually happens, but from our resistance to it. We cling to people, outcomes, plans, and expectations, believing that if we just worry hard enough or try to control every detail, we can force life to go our way. But how often has that worked? The reality is, life is full of things beyond our control. The words or actions of others, unexpected events, the weather, the economy, even the pace of change in the world around us. None of these are within our grasp. Yet we spend so much energy trying to manage them. And when things don't go as planned, frustration and anxiety creep in. Buddhism teaches a profound lesson here, the power of detachment. But this isn't about becoming numb or indifferent. It's about acceptance. It's about making peace with uncertainty and turning our focus inward toward the only things we can truly influence: our thoughts, our behaviors, and our emotional responses. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting. Trusting that life has its rhythm, that not everything needs to be in your hands, and that peace is still possible, even when things don't unfold the way you hoped. For instance, you can pour your heart into a dream or a goal, but if the outcome turns out differently, it doesn't mean you've failed. It means the story isn't over. It might even mean there's a deeper lesson waiting to be discovered. When you release your tight grip on the outcome, you give yourself the gift of presence and sometimes the space to see opportunities you never noticed before. In practical terms, letting go looks like this: noticing when you're stuck in worry over things you cannot fix, catching yourself when you're trying to control the uncontrollable, and gently reminding yourself that, like the weather, some things must be faced, not changed. You cannot stop the rain, but you can choose how you walk through it. So as you release the weight of control, you begin to feel lighter, freer, more open to life as it is, not just as you wish it to be. As you begin letting go of what you cannot control, something beautiful starts to happen. You make space. Space for peace. Space for freedom. And most importantly, space for what truly matters. You always have a choice. Even in the middle of a storm of negativity, you can choose to stand still and be soaked. Or you can take an umbrella, lift your chin, and walk through it with grace. This practice of letting go also involves something deeply powerful: forgiveness. Forgiving others for what they've done. Forgiving yourself for the things you couldn't change. Forgiveness in Buddhism is not weakness, it's liberation. Because when we cling to resentment, grudges, or regrets, we don't harm those we're angry at. We harm ourselves. We carry the burden. We suffer in silence. But the moment we forgive, we put that heavy load down. We give ourselves permission to heal and move on. Forgiveness is not about forgetting. It's about freeing ourselves from the prison of emotional pain. Letting go is not giving up. It's letting be. It's surrendering control, not because you're helpless, but because you are strong enough to trust the rhythm of life. You no longer need to control every outcome or fix every flaw. Instead, you begin to flow with acceptance, with peace. You start to understand that what happens around you is not always a reflection of your worth or your effort. Sometimes, things unfold simply because they do, and that's okay. It's all part of a bigger journey. And here's what's remarkable. Once you let go of trying to control what's uncontrollable, you feel lighter. Your mind becomes clearer. Your energy returns. You stop reacting to every twist and turn and start living from a calm, rooted place. Present, peaceful, unshaken. But there's another key element that affects your inner peace, one that most people overlook: your environment. Be intentional, be even ruthless with your environment, because it shapes you more than you realize. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But it doesn't stop with people. Your surroundings, your spaces, your screens, your sounds, they all shape your thoughts, your energy, your spirit. In Buddhism, the idea of Sangha, your spiritual community, is essential. Who you walk with affects the path you take. The people around you, the energy they carry, the words they speak, all of it either uplifts you or pulls you down. And the same goes for your physical environment, your home, your workspace, even the online world you inhabit. These places can nourish your peace or feed your distractions. Being ruthless doesn't mean being cold. It means being clear. Clear about what supports your growth and what drains it. Start with people. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling heavy, irritated, or anxious? That's not just in your imagination. Energy is real, and it's contagious. Spend too much time around those who complain, gossip, or dwell in negativity, and it begins to seep into your own mindset. But when you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you with kindness, who believe in growth, you rise. Naturally, effortlessly. Being selective with your environment is an act of self-respect. It means setting healthy boundaries. It means choosing peace over chaos, growth over drama. And it doesn't have to be dramatic or harsh. You can create space gently. You can distance with compassion. It's not about judging others. It's about protecting your energy and honoring your own path. And now that you've begun clearing space around you, physically and emotionally, there's one more sacred space to pay attention to: your words. Because the fifth habit is all about conscious speech and how the way you speak can either harm or heal. Now that you've learned how to be intentional with the people and energy you allow into your life, it's time to take a deeper look at something just as powerful: your physical space and what you choose to consume each day. Your environment is not limited to people. It includes the space you wake up in, the room you work in, the corners you rest in. So ask yourself honestly, does this space support the person I want to become? Or does it subtly drain me? Look around right now. Is your space calm or chaotic, peaceful or cluttered? In Buddhism, outer order is seen as a reflection of inner clarity. A clean, quiet, and serene space nurtures the same qualities in your mind. A cluttered, messy environment does the opposite. It creates agitation, distraction, and mental fog. That's why being ruthless with your physical space is not about perfection. It's about peace. Take a few minutes each day to clear the clutter, not just to tidy up, but to reset your mind. Create an environment that lifts your energy and supports your highest intentions. Maybe it's a small corner filled with soft light and your favorite books. Maybe it's a minimalist desk that helps you focus, or a quiet spot for meditation surrounded by nature or stillness. Whatever it is, let it be intentional. A space that feels like a sanctuary reminds your nervous system you are safe, you are centered, you are home. But it doesn't stop there. There's another part of your environment that many overlook: your digital space. The media you consume each day becomes the food your mind lives on. And in today's world, it's easy to consume without intention. So here's the question: is your content feeding your soul or just filling your time? From news feeds to social media, from the shows you binge to the books you read, everything you take in either fuels your growth or clutters your mind. And often, we don't even realize the emotional residue certain content leaves behind. That's why you must be ruthless. Not cold, not rigid, just clear. If something doesn't uplift you, doesn't inspire you, doesn't challenge you in a meaningful way, let it go. Replace noise with nourishment. Choose books, podcasts, and videos that align with your values and move you toward peace, purpose, and clarity. Protect your energy as fiercely as you protect your time. Because in the digital age, mindfulness is not just about meditation. It's about being conscious of every input you allow in. Being selective with your environment, from the people you engage with, to the spaces you live in, to the content you consume, is not about control. It's about creation. You are designing a life, one that supports your deepest peace and your greatest focus. And when all of these layers align, your relationships, your space, your media, you'll begin to notice a shift. Distractions no longer rule your day. Chaos no longer unsettles you. You become calm, grounded and ready for whatever life brings. This isn't just surviving, this is thriving. And now, with the world around you aligned, it's time to come home to yourself. Because in the noise of everyday life, it's easy to forget who you truly are. Once your external world is aligned, your space, your energy, your media, there's one final sanctuary to protect: your inner identity. Because in a world that constantly pulls you in every direction, remembering who you are becomes your greatest strength. It's easy for the mind to become cluttered, not just with tasks or distractions, but with expectations. The pressure to be what others want you to be, the weight of opinions that were never yours to carry, the silent race to meet standards that don't reflect your truth. In Buddhism, one of the most profound and liberating teachings is the practice of self-realization. It's the art of knowing, deeply, quietly, unwaveringly, who you truly are. Beneath the roles, beneath the labels, beneath the noise of the world. Because the world will try to name you. It will tell you how to act, what success looks like, how you should feel, and who you should become. But if you listen too closely, you might forget your own voice. True peace, peace that cannot be shaken, comes from defining yourself not by what others think, but by your own inner truth. That's why it's essential to build the habit of daily remembering. Before the day begins, before the world has a chance to distract you, pause and ask yourself, who am I at my core? What do I believe in? What values anchor me? And what kind of presence do I want to bring into this day? This isn't about ego. It's not about pride or performance. It's about grounding, reconnecting with the deeper part of you that is wise, compassionate, resilient, and steady, no matter what life throws your way. When you don't take time to remember who you are, you become vulnerable to fear, insecurity, and the endless pull of comparison. But when you do, something shifts. You move through the day with quiet confidence. You respond to life, not from panic, but from purpose. Try this. Every morning, speak a few simple affirmations aloud or in your heart. I am grounded and calm. I face challenges with courage. I am aligned with my purpose. I honor my values in all I do. These aren't just words. They're reminders, anchors. You're not here to simply survive the noise. You're here to live with clarity, intention, and depth. Buddhism teaches that the mind is powerful, so powerful it can either create your suffering or lead you to liberation. And your identity, when rooted in truth, becomes your compass. And this practice doesn't have to be hidden or abstract. Make it visual. Write your affirmations and place them where your eyes fall each morning, on your mirror, your desk, your journal. Or build a vision board with images, colors, and words that reflect the qualities you choose to live by. Let these reminders soak into your daily rhythm until they become second nature, until your mind naturally returns to your truth, especially when the world tries to pull you away from it. Because when you live with a steady reminder of who you are, the way you walk through life changes. You don't chase approval. You don't fear judgment. You move with presence, with direction, with inner authority. When you anchor yourself in your true identity each day, you begin to move through life with greater clarity. You're not just reacting, you're choosing. And that inner clarity becomes the foundation for building something even more powerful. Momentum through small, consistent actions. As you remind yourself daily of who you are, your confidence deepens. You start making decisions with clarity, moving toward your goals with intention, and holding on to your peace, even when chaos surrounds you. And when life inevitably becomes overwhelming, as it sometimes does, this practice becomes your anchor. In moments of confusion or pain, remembering your inner truth brings you back to center. It's like coming home after being lost at sea. A steady, quiet reminder. This is who I am. This is where I stand. That is the essence of inner power, remaining rooted, calm, and focused, regardless of the external noise. And from that foundation, you're ready to embrace the seventh habit, the compound effect of small daily wins. We live in a world that celebrates quick results, viral success, instant gratification. We're conditioned to believe that if success doesn't come fast, it's not coming at all. But Buddhism teaches a more enduring truth. Real transformation is slow, steady, and deeply rooted in consistency. Success is not about giant leaps once in a while. It's about small, intentional steps every single day. Buddha once said, "The secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine." What you do in your quiet hours, when no one is watching, that's where your future is built. Imagine this. You want to deepen your meditation practice. Committing to 30 minutes daily might feel impossible at first, but what if you started with just 5 minutes a day and then added 1 minute every few days? Before you know it, those small increments become a steady, powerful habit. This is the compound effect in action, where little efforts, repeated over time, create extraordinary results. You may not see the change tomorrow or even next week, but weeks become months, and one day you'll look back and realize you've become someone stronger, calmer, and more grounded than you ever thought possible. This principle applies to everything: your habits, your mindset, your growth. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about showing up again and again, even when you don't feel like it, especially when you don't feel like it. And here's the magic. When you focus on winning today, on doing one small thing with presence and intention, you release the pressure of perfection. You let go of the constant rush. You begin to enjoy the journey, not just chase the destination. In Buddhism, this is the heart of mindfulness, being fully here, present in whatever you're doing, no matter how simple the task may be. Washing the dishes, taking a breath, writing a line. Every act, no matter how small, becomes sacred when done with awareness. Over time, these simple mindful actions stack up, and what seemed insignificant in the moment becomes the very thing that transforms your life. So as you move forward, remember, greatness isn't built in a day. It's shaped in silence, in small wins, in steady steps. And as we wrap up this journey through the 7 unshakable habits, there's one final piece that ties it all together, a reflection that brings everything into focus and invites you to live this truth, starting now. When you commit to small, steady actions each day, your inner foundation begins to shift. Success stops being a far-off dream. It becomes something you live moment by moment. Whether you're breathing, walking, meditating, or simply eating with awareness, every small moment becomes a chance to show up for yourself. Each little win, though quiet, adds a brick to a life built on purpose, clarity, and peace. But here's something many don't say. Small daily wins aren't always exciting. Some days you'll feel unmotivated. You'll be tired, distracted, or emotionally pulled in too many directions. There will be mornings when discipline feels heavy and progress feels invisible. And that's okay, because what matters most is that you keep going. even when it's hard, even when you see no immediate result. Consistency is the secret no one applauds, but it's the foundation of everything that lasts. Think of it like planting a seed. You water it every day, you give it sunlight, and at first, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are growing. Slowly, surely, a strong foundation is forming. And one day, seemingly all at once, that tiny seed breaks through the earth as something alive and powerful. That's what happens with your daily actions. When you focus on steady effort rather than perfection, your mindset changes. You no longer stress about how far you still have to go. You begin to trust the path. You start enjoying the process, knowing that each small act is a step in the right direction. You build resilience. You build belief. You build momentum. And momentum is powerful. Each time you complete even the smallest task, whether it's meditating for 5 minutes, completing one project, or choosing patience over frustration, you're training yourself for success. You're reinforcing the identity of someone who doesn't quit, someone who honors their word, someone who shows up again and again. That's how strength is built. Not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, steady choices no one sees. These small wins don't just help you check off goals. They shape your character. They teach you to follow through even when it's not easy, to keep your heart open even when life gets loud, to walk forward even when the road is uncertain. So ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do today that moves me closer to who I want to become? What habit can I practice now, not tomorrow, that aligns with my deeper purpose? What quiet victory can I claim today? Because those are the steps that matter. Eventually, these wins will add up to something far greater than you expected. A shift not only in what you achieve, but in who you become. And now, let's take one final look back. You've just learned 6 deeply transformative habits that build unshakable peace. Sit with pain, stop running, and let discomfort become your teacher. Respond, don't react. Choose awareness over impulse. Train your mind each morning. Begin your day with clarity and intention. Let go of control. Trust life and release what you can't change. Be mindful of your environment. Shape your surroundings to nourish your growth. Remember who you are. Stay rooted in your truth every single day. And finally, honor the power of small daily wins. One step at a time, day after day. None of these habits require perfection. They only ask for presence, for patience, for the willingness to begin again each day. Like bamboo in the wind, you will bend, but you will not break. Life will continue to offer challenges. But now, you are equipped. You've built a foundation that steadies you through storms. You've learned to live from the inside out, with focus, with courage, and with peace. So take a deep breath, trust the path, and keep walking. You have everything you need within you. If this journey has spoken to your heart, we warmly invite you to subscribe to Buddhism Seeds, like this video, and leave a thoughtful comment below. What small win will you focus on today? We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for being here. May your steps be mindful, and may your heart remain unshakable.